We have
Tanner's
Mel
pick,
Gibson's The Patriot.
Yes, sir. Now, Jackson, do you think you could tell us a little bit about the Civil War here? Not the Civil War, the Revolutionary War real quick?
I don't know anything about the Revolutionary War. I don't think I can.
This movie told you everything you need to know about it. It's all based on 100% factual events.
We got fucking Revolutionary War Rambo out on the scene, fucking shit up. He didn't want war, but they made him want war because they killed his child, and then later on killed his other child.
And his other child.
And his other child.
I think they killed like 5 of his kids in this movie, if I'm being honest.
They really did not let this guy have any family at all. But yeah, basically there's just some fucking dude that is against the war, and he wants to like plead with Britain. They are all very like opposed to this. Then there's like a fight outside their house, and this like starts a conflict because the British people shoot one of his sons under the presumption of him being a spy, and then they burn his house, and that like fuels his rage for wanting to actually go against the British and like, you know, secede. And then they do that. They go and they plan and they fight the British and all that shit, and then it ends with them winning a battle and the British given up, and then we see the guy with his new wife and his kids all happy ever after in the end.
Yeah.
First question I have for you, Tanner.
Okay.
Did this movie make you cry at all?
I don't think it ever made me cry.
Okay.
You know, I am a very patriotic individual, so it definitely was getting me in my... It definitely had the elements there that would have made me cry, and I'll explain why I didn't cry in the post-guap.
Okay. I definitely felt like you would have cried, like especially when they were like grabbing the flag, and it inspires all the men to keep fighting, you know? Just that thirst for American freedom.
That definitely is in my MO. You know, obviously, I think the big selling point of this movie is the main character, Mel Gibson. I really like this character, man. His whole thing of being, you know, the single father, he's got, you know, all these kids he wants to protect, and he knows how fucked up war can be, and so he's trying to stay out of it, and he still gets dragged in, and then he just says, fuck it, I'm gonna do everything I have to, even if it goes against sort of the prevailing beliefs on how war should be conducted.
Are you sure that Heath Ledger wasn't the main selling point of this film?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Huh.
It's called Mel Gibson's The Patriot. Mel Gibson was a much more famous actor than Heath Ledger.
And yet Heath Ledger ended up playing the Joker. How strange.
To be honest, I don't think Mel Gibson would have done well as the Joker. That's just
I'd love
me,
to
though.
I'd love to see an attempt at least.
Same.
Now, Tinder, you hinted at the warfare here real quick. So, as a history buff, could you please reveal to the class here why they had that stupid fucking bullshit back in those days with lining up and just shooting each other?
You know, I think it was just a thing about chivalry and honor, and it's it's the gentlemanly way to conduct warfare or some shit.
Or because their guns sucked and weren't accurate.
That too.
They didn't figure out foxholes yet.
Yeah. It also just baffles me looking at it, you know? I don't understand why anyone would agree to fight that way.
I will say, I don't know how common that actually was, that they were just fighting like that. Because, I know, for example, in a decade or two, not a decade, a century or two before this, we had, for example, Sweden's 30-Year War, where they were doing, straight-up trench warfare. They weren't, lining up in fields or any of that shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how accurate the idea of lining up in fields even is, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe it's just something Britain was trying to, they're trying to set a trend to be hey, we really want this cool thing to catch on. Don't worry that this will very obviously only favor people who have a massive military like we do. We just think it's neat, okay?
Yeah.
Speaking of the British, I'm a big fan they paint them in such a horrible light, this movie. Dear God, they really made them look like trash.
They are cartoonishly evil in this film.
I'm a big fan of that. Exactly.
Factual. Another thing with the warfare, I thought that the gun battles looked really cool. I thought it was well done, very action-packed and whatever. A lot of the melee choreography I thought was off enough most of the time that it wasn't very engaging. They're very obviously not hitting them.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
really selling their strikes very well.
No.
There's not enough blood. Like him going after them with a tomahawk would have been so much better if they were like shooting blood out of their necks and shit.
Which is a funny complaint too, because there was many moments in this, the movie where people's legs getting blown off, their heads are getting fucking crushed to smithereens.
Yeah.
When mostly with those things, they basically just like cropped it out. They're like, all right, his leg's gone, so let's just like take out this and like just remove it instantly. You don't really see the gore of it, but yeah, there's a lot of scenes like that.
Yeah, most of the time when you see those, Jackson, they're whenever they like fire a cannonball, and those scenes are always really fucking goofy, because just like this cannonball very slowly moving into these people, and then it just does this massive damage to them.
Yeah, that was hilarious when they bounced off the ground, just took off a guy's leg, even if it's not really going that bad. They like definitely break his leg for sure, but blow the fucking thing off, not a chance.
Were they playing it in slow motion, or could they just not make it look very fast?
No, it definitely looked like it was in real time.
Yeah, it kind of just looked like it was like a bowling ball moving across the screen.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Skipping it off the ground is like an actual thing they would do, though.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
get a strike on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
It's because they don't suspect it, you know? They think it's going to come high, but then it comes low.
I do think it was pretty funny that the movie ended with the main antagonist British guy giving like a fucking anime villain monologue instead of just killing the guy, and then of course our main character Mel Gibson using that chance to fucking stab him in the back, like evade his sword and fucking stab him. Some fucking anime-ass moment, which is really goofy.
Yeah, for sure.
Why was that guy even fucking winning in that fight, though, by the way? Like, Mel Gibson's been shown to be, like, this
The
super
ultimate badass.
crazy good hand-to-hand combat man. And yet he loses to this guy who's probably just, like, been sipping on his silver spoon all his life.
Impossible to say.
Okay.
He was so tuckered out from all the fighting he's been doing, where that guy has just been sitting on a horse.
He had also, like, just been shot.
True, he did shoot the guy in the arm, and the guy continued to use that arm that was just shot to pick things up in, like, with quite a bit of dexterity.
Listen, his grip strength was greatly diminished.
True. True. This movie had a lot of other, like, just random goofy moments. Like, the first intro scene where he's, like, going Rambo on that, like, battalion of British people to get his son that's tied up. That shit was pretty goofy. Like, the two untrained kids, I mean, maybe they've been, like, doing target practice or something. But, like, you're telling me these two fucking children are just hitting zingers on all of these people, dodging, bobbing, and weaving out of gunfire from these fucking British people, and they take out an entire battalion with 3 people? Not a goddamn chance.
That
Jackson,
shit looked cool as fuck, though. When he goes,
Jackson.
like, demon mode at the end.
Yeah. I will agree it was cool, but it's also really goofy.
Dude, they were aiming small, and you know what, Jackson? You know what?
They hit big?
Well, they missed small, but yeah, I guess so.
Sure.
Something.
Yeah, or like when they're in the fucking house scene and like the guy looks under the table to try to find the guy that was hiding under the table, and he doesn't see him, but he's just like off to the right of the underside of the table, where it's still very clearly visible because the curtain's not that short, and they play it off like he's like a fucking master escapist. It was so fucking goofy. Lots of moments like that in the movie, and it was just really slow paced too. Like it was a lot of talking and exposition shit going on in between all the action scenes. And for a 3-hour movie, it's really hard to keep your focus on something like that.
Yeah, this movie is 3 hours long, and boy, howdy does it feel 3 hours long.
We watched the extended cut, by the way. I didn't realize we watched the
too.
extended cut until afterwards, but yeah.
I do think, like, the slower burn pace makes more sense for this movie, because it's not, like, strictly an action movie. It is, like, a historical this, that, and the other thing.
Correct.
Now, Tanner, hypothetical
Yes.
here for you. How do you think you'd feel if you go over to, your hot mama's house, okay? You go over to her place, and she still lives with her parents, all right? She's still living with her parents. And you're supposed to, like, spend the night over there, and then her parents are like, all right, you can spend the night, but we're gonna have to sew you to the bed for while you sleep. Do you think you'd go for it?
How hot are we saying this mama is?
She's hot enough, dude. She's hot enough.
Well, I mean, based on that specific answer, then I guess yes.
Okay.
I don't think there is people that are hot enough.
I wouldn't want to get sewed on at that.
Yeah, why
under
would
any
you just
circumstance.
like, I'll see you tomorrow then?
I'm gonna go get a hotel.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Why would you come
You're right.
back to a woman that just,
Yeah, that her
wants
parents
to
want
tie
to sew you to a
fucking
bed.
bed? Yeah, so
Dude,
Yeah,
think
that's
of what the
bed.
sex will be like once you get her out of there, though.
Yeah,
You're the one sewed to the bed.
yeah.
She's
I mean,
fine.
out of there
It's
as
just-
in, like, out of the house, idiots.
Oh, gotcha.
Nah, you can't
Anyways,
trust a
ranking
woman.
time.
Almost ranking time. I will say, what was it? I liked the ambush montage. I like the ambush montage in this one more than I liked it in Tombstone. I don't know if you guys would agree with that.
Maybe.
Okay.
Hard to say.
I have a note here where I just say, damn, that was cold as fuck of him. Do any of you guys know what I might be referring to there?
Yeah, when they burned the church down with all the townspeople inside of it.
Maybe.
That was pretty cold.
That was pretty cold.
That was fucked up.
That
The
was
British are
fucked
pieces
up.
of shit, man.
Yeah, fuck the British. I'm glad Mel Gibson killed them all.
Oh yeah. S tier.
Okay, I'm ready to rank.
Fantastic, Tanner. You go ahead and cap her off then.
I'm giving it an A+.
A+, that's lower than Dylan gave it. Dylan gave an S-.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. I'm giving it a B+ myself. There was a lot of drawbacks for this movie, but I think the cinematography was pretty well done. The acting was good overall. So I
Yeah.
can't really knock it too much.
I'm floating between a B+ or an A- right now myself. Let's flip a coin to the side here.
Dude, just you see my ranking, right? And you know you
Uh-huh.
like my ranking. So just pick my ranking. Let's do that. Let's do some doubles where we have another week where we just pick the same rankings.
That would be pretty silly. And it's looking like we're going for it. It's gonna be a B+.
All right, well, we
Crazy.
continue this trend.
The
into
coin
into the
decided.
final movie.
Let's go.
All right,
Where's that
puts
put
the
us?
A. Solid A. That's pretty
Solid A.
respectable.
Okay.
I think it makes
Respectable.
sense.